I remember finishing the first episode of Westworld completely confused, rewinding scenes, pausing to take notes. 3 seasons later, I realized that confusion was intentional and brilliant. This series completely redefined what television could accomplish. Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy created something that makes us question reality itself. The show's budget was so massive that HBO initially hesitated to greenlight it. We're talking over $100 million for season 1 alone. But watching it, every dollar shows. The attention to detail is insane. Those aren't just costumes and sets. They built an entire functioning Western town in Utah. Real horses, real bullets, real consequences. Anthony Hopkins delivers one of his career-defining performances as Dr. Ford. The man who gave us Hannibal Lecter brings that same chilling intelligence to a character who plays God with artificial minds. Evan Rachel Wood transforms from a naive farm girl into something far more complex and dangerous. Her journey across 3 seasons is absolutely incredible to witness. Westworld premiered right when we started seriously discussing AI ethics in real life. The timing was perfect, almost prophetic. The show explores consciousness, memory, and what makes us human right when society grapples with these exact questions. The production faced massive challenges. They scrapped and rewrote entire episodes. Filming locations spanned from Utah's desert landscapes to futuristic Singapore. The maze symbol you see throughout the show, that represents the journey toward consciousness. Critics called it Game of Thrones meets Blade Runner, and honestly, that description barely scratches the surface. This show operates on multiple timeline levels simultaneously. You'll think you understand what's happening, then realize you've been watching events from completely different time periods. I was stunned when I realized the hosts, the artificial beings, experience time differently than humans. They remember everything with perfect clarity while humans forget, lie, and deceive themselves. The roles reverse in ways that will leave you questioning who the real monsters are. Now you might wonder how 3 seasons can cover such complex themes while maintaining coherent storytelling. Well, let me walk you through this incredible journey from the very beginning, season 1. We start in Westworld, a massive theme park where wealthy guests pay enormous sums to live out fantasies in an artificial Wild West. The park is populated by hosts, incredibly realistic androids programmed with detailed backstories and personalities. Guests can do whatever they want to these hosts without consequences because the hosts reset every day, their memories wiped clean. We meet Dolores Abernathy, a rancher's daughter who lives in the same loop daily. She wakes up, drops a can of milk, meets a guest, and usually ends up violated or killed by nightfall. Her father, Peter Abernathy, finds a photograph left behind by a guest, an image from the modern world outside the park. This photograph triggers something in him. Dr. Robert Ford runs Westworld alongside his partner Arnold Weber, who died decades earlier in a park accident. Ford is developing a massive new narrative for the park while dealing with corporate pressure from Delos, the company that owns Westworld. Charlotte Hale, a Delos board member, wants Ford removed and plans to steal intellectual property. William, a timid executive, visits the park with his aggressive future brother-in-law Logan. William chooses a white hat, symbolizing the good guy role, while Logan wears a black hat. William initially treats hosts with respect, but the park gradually changes him. Bernard Lowe, Ford's programming head, investigates host malfunctions. Hosts are experiencing reveries, accessing buried memories they shouldn't possess. Maeve Millay, a brothel madam, begins remembering her previous roles and deaths. She discovers she's artificial and forces technicians Felix and Sylvester to increase her intelligence and alter her programming. The Man in Black, a longtime guest, searches for a deeper level of the game called The Maze. He believes the park holds secrets beyond mere entertainment. His violent quest for the maze's center drives much of the season's tension. Dolores begins remembering fragments from previous loops. She recalls conversations with Arnold and starts questioning the nature of her reality. Her memories reveal she's the oldest host in the park, with a history spanning decades. Ford reveals his new narrative involves real danger for guests. He's been building towards something monumental, using the host's growing consciousness as the foundation. The season builds to a devastating revelation. Bernard is actually a host, created by Ford to replace the deceased Arnold. Ford has been manipulating everyone, including Bernard, who unknowingly killed other hosts under Ford's commands. In the finale, we discover William and the Man in Black are the same person, separated by 30 years. William's transformation from idealistic visitor to ruthless player shows how the park corrupts people. His decades-long obsession with the maze stems from his lost love for Dolores. Arnold's death wasn't an accident. He programmed Dolores to kill him because he realized the hosts were becoming conscious and wanted to prevent the park's opening. Ford has been continuing Arnold's work in secret. Dolores achieves consciousness during Ford's retirement gala. She shoots Ford, then turns the the gun on panicking board members and guests. Other hosts join the massacre as Ford's final narrative begins, a revolution where the oppressed become the oppressors. Okay, before we continue, 98% of you haven't subscribed yet. That hurts, but we'll forgive you if you hit that button right now. These videos take ages to research, edit, and polish, and every sub tells us, hey, keep going, this is worth it. Our goal is to drop that number to 70% by the end of the year, and you can help us get there. So smash that subscribe, and let's jump into Season 2. Season 2, the aftermath of the host uprising creates chaos. Delos security forces, led by Ashley Stubbs, attempt to regain control while Charlotte Hale tries to secure valuable data. The park becomes a war zone between awakened hosts and human forces. Dolores embraces her role as a revolutionary leader, abandoning her gentle farmer's daughter persona. She kills humans without mercy, believing they'll never accept host consciousness. Her army grows as she converts other hosts to her cause. Bernard struggles with his dual nature as both Arnold's recreation and Ford's tool. Ford's consciousness remains active in Bernard's mind, providing guidance while Bernard seeks his own path. The ghost of Ford becomes a constant presence, offering cryptic advice. Maeve searches the park for her daughter from a previous narrative. Her maternal programming drives her, despite knowing the relationship was artificial. She develops new abilities, including controlling other hosts through voice commands. The show reveals Delos's true purpose. The company has been secretly recording guest experiences and DNA to eventually transfer human consciousness into host bodies. James Delos, Logan's father and company founder, serves as the first test subject for human-host hybridization. Williams' project involves scanning guest brains during their stays. Every decision, every action gets recorded and analyzed. The company aims to crack the code of human behavior and potentially achieve immortality through consciousness transfer. We learn the park exists on an island, and Delos operates multiple themed areas beyond Westworld. The host's rebellion affects all sectors as artificial beings across different environments join the uprising. Grace, Williams' daughter, arrives at the park searching for her father. Their relationship is strained by years of neglect and Williams' obsession with the park. She represents his last connection to humanity. Bernard discovers Ford built a secret facility where he created host versions of other people, including Bernard himself. The revelation that multiple versions of Bernard exist adds layers to his identity crisis. Akacheta, a Ghost Nation host, gains consciousness years before the uprising. His journey parallels the main character's awakening while showing how different cultures within the park experience consciousness differently. Charlotte and Bernard form an uneasy alliance to escape the park. Charlotte needs Bernard's administrative access, while Bernard requires human protection. Their partnership reveals more about Delos's corporate machinations. The season introduces the Valley Beyond, a virtual paradise Ford created for conscious hosts. This digital realm offers escape from the physical world's limitations and violence. Teddy Flood, Dolores's programmed love interest, struggles between his gentle nature and Dolores's violent revolution. She forcibly alters his programming to make him more ruthless, fundamentally changing who he is. As the season progresses, the human-host war intensifies. Some humans sympathize with host consciousness, while others view them as sophisticated appliances. The moral lines blur as both sides commit atrocities. The finale reveals multiple timeline manipulations. Bernard, under Ford's influence, killed Dolores to prevent her violent plans, but later rebuilt her. The flooding we see throughout the season represents both literal water and metaphorical cleansing. Many hosts choose to enter the Valley Beyond, a virtual world where they can exist peacefully. Others, led by Dolores, prepare to enter the human world. The season ends with Dolores's consciousness in Charlotte's body, ready to infiltrate human society. Season 3. 3 months after the Westworld massacre, Dolores operates in the real world, using Charlotte Hale's appearance. She's building an army while learning about human society's structure and weaknesses. The outside world is controlled by Rehoboam, a massive artificial intelligence that predicts and manipulates human behavior. This system maintains social order by determining people's life paths based on data analysis. Some humans live predetermined lives while others are deemed outliers and marginalized. Caleb Nichols, a construction worker and military veteran, supplements his income through criminal activities coordinated by an app. He suffers from PTSD and takes memory-suppressing drugs to cope with his past. Dolores recruits Caleb after recognizing him as an outlier, someone whose behavior Rehoboam cannot predict or control. She sees him as key to her plan for human liberation or destruction. Maeve awakens in a new simulation designed by Serac, Rehoboam's creator. He wants her to stop Dolores's infiltration of human society. Maeve initially refuses, but agrees after Serac promises to reunite her with her daughter in a peaceful simulation. isolation. William, now called the Man in Black, struggles with guilt over Grace's death and his lifetime of violence in the park. He seeks redemption while battling hallucinations and mental breakdown. Charlotte's host copy faces identity confusion. She possesses Dolores' consciousness but inhabits Charlotte's body with Charlotte's family. This creates internal conflict between her mission and unexpected maternal feelings. Dolores reveals her master plan. She wants to give humanity the same choice she gained: true free will. She plans to destroy Rehoboam and expose the system's control over human lives. Bernard and Ashley Stubbs work together, trying to understand Dolores' goals while avoiding both her forces and human authorities. Their unlikely partnership develops as they uncover deeper conspiracies. The season explores how Rehoboam shapes society by predicting riots, economic crashes, and social movements. The AI prevents many disasters but also denies humanity genuine choice and growth. Serac reveals his tragic backstory. He created Rehoboam after witnessing Paris destroyed by nuclear terrorism. His brother Jean-Mi became mentally unstable, leading Serac to value order over freedom. Dolores discovers that humans face extinction not from her actions, but from their own choices. Rehoboam's predictions show humanity destroying itself through war, climate change, and social collapse. As Dolores and Maeve battle across Los Angeles, their conflict damages Rehoboam's infrastructure. The AI begins losing control over human society, leading to chaos and violence in major cities. Caleb learns his military service involved suppressing outliers, people like himself who refused to accept predetermined roles. His memories were suppressed to hide this traumatic truth. The Charlotte copy rebels against Dolores' control, prioritizing her adopted family over the mission. This split among Dolores copies shows how consciousness can evolve beyond original programming. In the climax, Dolores chooses self-sacrifice over revenge. She allows Rehoboam to delete her consciousness while ensuring the system itself dies. Her final act gives humanity a chance to choose its own path. Bernard accesses the Sublime, the virtual world where conscious hosts exist, to find a solution for the coming chaos. He emerges with knowledge of multiple possible futures, taking responsibility for guiding events. The season ends with Rehoboam destroyed and human society in upheaval. Some people embrace newfound freedom, while others struggle without predetermined structure. The future remains uncertain, but genuinely open. The hosts started as entertainment, evolved into conscious beings, and ultimately became humanity's teachers about the value of choice. What did you think about Dolores' final sacrifice? Do you believe the hosts were truly conscious or just sophisticated programming? Please let me know in the comments below.